Over the course of NASCAR history, there are some drivers that will retire at the right time, while some may retire prematurely due to outside circumstances. Then, there are those that just retire well past their glory days. So today in the video, we will be looking at 5 drivers that retired too early and 5 that retired too late. And we will also be giving them an ideal year of when they should have retired. Too early, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Dale Jr. had a very solid NASCAR career, recording 26 Cup victories and had a best points finish of 3rd in 2003. Dale Jr. also had an elite Xfinity Series career, winning 24 races and back-to-back championships in 1998 and 1999. Jr.'s Cup career started in 2000 and had multiple championship contending seasons in 2003, 2004, 2012, and 2014. But was never able to claim his first championship. In 2016, Jr. was coming off of a solid 2015 season and was well in chase contention, but 18 races into the season, Jr. had to go on medical leave due to a concussion. Jr. came back in 2017 and was clearly not the same. During the season, Jr. would announce his retirement and after 2017 never raced another Cup race. But in 2017, Jr. was noticeably better in the second half of the season. And I believe that in 2018, Jr. would have been in at least playoff contention. And if Jr. decided to continue past 2017, I think that in 2019, Jr. would have had an ideal opportunity to retire. Too late, Terry Labonte. Terry Labonte's NASCAR career is kind of an underrated and overlooked career. From 1980 to 1999, Labonte recorded 21 wins and 15 top 10 points finishes, along with 2 championships in 1984 and 1996. After his 1999 season, which saw him finish a respectable 12th in points and recorded 1 win, he just fell off. From 2000 to 2004, Labonte only recorded 1 top 15 points finish and only had 1 win. After 2004, Labonte retired from full-time competition and made 73 starts over the course of the next 10 seasons, and only had 1 top 5 finish at Sonoma in 2006. Terry really should have ended his career after the 2001 season, and ended his part-time stint in 2006. Too early, Kurt Busch. For many years, Kurt Busch was one of NASCAR's elite drivers. It didn't matter what team he was on, he would always perform. Busch won the 2004 championship in the inaugural chase for the Cup, and went on to accumulate 34 wins with 5 different teams. In 2021, the team Kurt drove for at the time, Chip Ganassi Racing, was being sold to Trackhouse and Justin Marks, and that left Kurt without a seat in 2022. But later that season, Kurt Busch would join Toyota in 2311, racing in the 45 car. So the 2022 season began, and Kurt was off to a solid start, well in playoff contention, and actually scored a win at Kansas. But little did anyone know, this would end up being Kurt's last win, because later that same season, Busch was involved in a qualifying crash that gave him concussion, and effectively ended his career. Busch's career was cut short, and if this hadn't have happened, Kurt would still be racing today. And honestly, this season, 2024, would have been perfect for him to retire. Too late, Ryan Newman. Rocket Man Ryan Newman was one of the most consistent drivers in the Cup Series for years. Newman was mainly known for his qualifying pace, as he recorded 51 poles, but really couldn't convert any of them to wins, as he only won 18 races in his career. After the 2013 season, where Newman won the Brickyard 400 and made the chase, he was let go from Stewart Racing in favor of Kevin Harvick. But in 2014, he was picked up by Richard Childress Racing in the 31 car, and in his first season, he almost won the championship, coming up short to, ironically, Kevin Harvick. Now, while a lot of people in the industry thought that this was a sign of things to come, it just went downhill from here. Newman's average finish regressed every year, and only managed to win 1 race in 2017 at Phoenix. But in 2018, Newman wasn't the same driver and missed the playoffs, and was let go from RCR after 2018. Newman ended up signing with Roush for the 2019 season and actually looked pretty good, making the playoffs, but ended up a round of 16 exit. But in 2020, Newman's competitive career would end with a huge crash at Daytona. And after this, Newman only recorded 6 more top 10s in his career over the next 2 seasons. And honestly, Newman really should have hung it up after the 2020, because in 2021, he just wasn't the same and really did nothing all year. And right now, his mini comeback with Rick Ware is not working out. Too early, Carl Edwards. Now, all of you probably saw this one coming. Carl Edwards was taken away from us too soon, and really, it's all down to him just being heartbroken too many times. The 3 seasons that you have to look at are 2008, 2011, and 2016. Let's start in 2008. So far in Carl's career, he was a solid top 10 caliber driver, making the chase twice in his first 3 seasons. But in 2008, Carl Edwards took that next step. Not only was he in the chase, but he was running at least on the same level as Jimmie Johnson, until the race at Charlotte, where he had an ignition issue, and as the chase progressed, he couldn't make a dent in Johnson's lead, and didn't really have a chance at Homestead. In 2011, Edwards wasn't flashy, but he was super consistent, and when everyone else was floundering, he was beating them, except for one man, Tony Stewart. Going into that season's finale, Edwards had the points lead, but in the race, Stewart got the best of him and beat him on a tiebreaker. Lastly, 2016. In 2016, Edwards had a solid regular season, and after he made the round of 8, he won a rain-shortened race at Texas and made the championship 4. In the finale, Edwards clearly had the best car all day, but NASCAR threw a late race phantom debris caution, and the rest is history. But right after this race, Carl Edwards decided that he had had enough and ultimately retired. And it's not too far out there to think that he could still be racing today. Too late, Greg Biffle. Greg Biffle's Cup career is one of undying loyalty. Biffle started his career with Roush Racing in 2003, and over the course of his 14-year career, he accrued 19 wins and 6 top 10 points finishes, including a second in 2005. But little did anyone know was that this was the peak of his career. While he had some more really good seasons in 2008 and 2012, he just never recaptured that 05 form, and the last win he got was at 2013 at Michigan. But after this win, the last 3 seasons of his career were just forgettable and was ultimately a non-factor. And even though he made a small comeback in 2022, he just hasn't been the same. And if you were to pin his downfall on one thing, it had to be his undying loyalty to Jack Roush. His teammate Matt Kenseth left after the 2012 season, and his other teammate Carl Edwards left after the 2014 season. And Biffle really should have done the same. But another thing that Greg Biffle was an older driver. You can't forget that his rookie season, 2003, he was 33 years old, which is insanely old for a rookie. His age was probably another factor. But if Biffle retired after 2013, he would have had a better end to his career. Too early, Matt Kenseth. Now I know he came back in 2020, but we're not going to look at that. After all, he was out of the car for a year and a half, and there was no practice or qualifying, and they were racing a package that he had never raced before. But anyway, Kenseth started his career in 2000, where he won Rookie of the Year. Kenseth over the next few seasons improved and eventually captured the championship in 2003. And had more title caliber seasons with Roush in 2006 and 2012. But after the 2012 season, he would leave Roush for Joe Gibbs Racing in 2013. And in that season, Kenseth had a championship caliber season, recording 7 wins. But late in that year, Jimmie Johnson worked his magic and Kenseth ended up second. But after that season, Kenseth had 4 more seasons with Gibbs and was ultimately replaced by Eric Jones in the 20 car. And was without a ride in 2018. And while he did make a small comeback in the second half of 2018 and made a full comeback in 2020, but he was ultimately a non-factor in both seasons. But let's not look at 2020 because like I said, no practice and an unfamiliar package. So honestly, I think that if Kenseth managed to find a ride after 2017, he could have been competitive all the way up until 2020. Too late, Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte started his Cup career in 1993 and got off to a slow start, finishing 19th in 93 and 21st in 1994. But in 1995, he joined Joe Gibbs Racing and won 3 races and finished 10th in the point standings. Over the next few years, Labonte got better and came up short in 1999 to Dale Jarrett. But in 2000, Bobby Labonte would finally put it all together and win the championship. But after this, he only recorded 2 top 10 points finishes over his last 5 seasons with Joe Gibbs. After an abysmal 2005 season seeing a 24th place points finish, Labonte headed to Petty Enterprises, a struggling team, and in his first season he was actually decent and finished a respectable 21st in points. But after this season, he spent 3 more years with Petty and then rode around in backmarker rides until 2016, where he finally hung it up after Talladega. And one interesting stat that Bobby Labonte is that he had 365 starts before his final win in 2003 and had 363 more starts after his last win. And honestly, if Labonte retired after 2004, he would be more fondly remembered. Too early, Junior Johnson. Junior Johnson started his career in 1955, and from that season all the way until 1965, he recorded 50 wins. The best of which came in that 1965 season where he recorded 13 wins and finished 12th in points, despite missing 19 races. All things seemed bright heading into 1966, but only 7 races into that season, Johnson would retire at the age of just 35 and would go on to become a car owner and is now regarded as one of the best drivers to never win the championship. And honestly, Johnson probably could have raced all the way into the 80s if he really wanted to. Too late, Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart started his Cup career in 1999 and had what is likely the best rookie season of all time, recording 3 wins and a 4th place points finish. Stewart's career progressed through the 2000s and won championships in 2002 and 2005. And from 1999 to 2008, Stewart recorded 33 wins. But after 2008, Stewart left JGR to go be a co-owner / driver at Stewart Haas Racing. And in the first season, Stewart was a championship caliber driver, winning 4 races in the regular season and holding the points lead for much of it. But he fell apart in the chase and finished a disappointing 6th place. 2 seasons later, Tony Stewart put together the biggest late season surge and won 5 of the last 10 races, and walked away with his 3rd championship in 2011. But after this, it was all downhill. In 2012, while remaining competitive, didn't have near the success he did in 2011. In 2013, he had his season cut short with an injury, and in 2014, well, you guys all probably know what happened there. Then in 2015 and 2016, Stewart was really a non-factor, besides one lucky win at Sonoma in 2016. Now, the perfect time for Stewart to retire would have been after the 2014 season. Well, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and drop a comment below whether you agree or disagree. Also, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time for another video. Y'all have a good one.